This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus has movies. So many movies. The movies you've seen 1,000 times and could watch 1,000 more. Iconic movies your friends can't believe you haven't seen. New movies, classic movies, new takes on classic movies. So whether you're into Top Gun or The Naked Gun, Mean Girls or Mission Impossible, Smurfs or Sonic the Hedgehog, there's a mountain of movies to discover on Paramount Plus. Start streaming today.
Welcome to episode 77 of the Inside Job Boards and Recruitment Marketplaces podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Stephen Rothberg. I'm the founder of College Recruiter. We believe that every student and recent grad deserves a great career and that it should be easy and inexpensive for employers to hire them. I'm joined today by two awesome people. One, my co-host, the other, our guest. Peter, good to see you.
I've never heard you call me awesome before. You usually start with the awe, but then go somewhere else. So thank you for that today. I'm Peter Zollman, founding principal of the AIM Group. We do business intelligence, conferences, and consulting for the recruitment marketplace industry. We've been at it 26 years. We have RecBuzz coming up in April in Vienna. And we're joined by someone sitting in London, Dylan Buckley, co-founder of DirectlyApply. And here comes the first softball question. Dylan, tell us in 1 minute or less about DirectlyApply.
You got it. Thanks, guys, for having me on. Long-time viewer, first-time caller, I guess. I'm Dylan. I'm one of the co-founders of DirectlyApply. We're a very small London-based job match technology company, but we service the US market entirely. So even though we sit here in the UK, we don't actually operate here in the UK. We operate entirely in the US. And our focus since we launched 6 years ago has been purely on building job matching tech. We are all engineers. We have no salespeople, no account managers. All we do all day, every day is we come to work. We try and match job seekers with jobs.
Very cool. So I have already learned something. Two things. One, I learned that Peter appreciates compliments. And more importantly, I didn't realize that although you all sit in London, that you just service the US market. I think I kind of always assumed that you were UK, EU, and US. So maybe you can start off by telling us like why the US and say like not the UK.
Yeah, so we actually started in the UK and then we tried to run the UK and the US in parallel. And what we found as we were sort of really digging into job seeker behavior, job seeker performance, is that there's actually huge differences across geographies. That can be everything from, the simple things like the $sign and the pound sign to wording used, to the way job descriptions are written, to the way apply processes are done. And so we sort of decided to, as we were a small team, we wanted to do big things. If we could just take on the biggest market and do it really, really well, there'd be plenty of work for us to do, and there sure is. And we don't find ourselves being spread too thin across different markets. We've just got one market, and we try and do it really, really well.
Yeah, to say nothing of resumes versus CVs, right? Yeah. So tell us, what's the business model? Who pays you, and how do you make money? That stuff.
Sure. So we, as a business, we operate like most other job aggregators or sort of secondary job boards. So we take feeds from recruitment marketing agencies. We take them from the programmatics like Appcast or Jovio or PandaLogic, and also some job boards, some of the bigger ones as well, including College Recruiter.
Full disclosure.
Yeah, exactly. And so currently, we don't work directly with any employers. We're just currently, as you know, we're just a tech team, so we are just playing in that sort of secondary market. Our big point of difference is that we're not doing any of the syndication of content out. So all of the job seekers that come to Directly Apply, they're coming to us to use our search capabilities, and then we match them with jobs that we have in the marketplace, and then they go off to apply. And we also now have several 100,000 jobs where the apply is hosted on our site as well. So that's our business model, kind of like everyone else, but just with the little twist that we're not doing the arbitrage. You know, we're not trying to buy a click for 19 cents and sell it for 22. That's not our business. Our business is, you know, bring job seekers that are looking for a job to our site. They can use our matching tech. They find a job. They go off and apply. We get paid on the application. The majority of what we're selling to the programmatics and the media agencies is CPA buying. We do a little bit of CPC, but where we really thrive is in sort of CPA. We take all the risk. We get you great candidates and get paid on success.
That's interesting that, you know, sort of how you were talking about the aggregation and that you, my words, not yours, but you only play on one side of that, where you're just selling and not buying traffic. That's unusual. So for the listeners who are, you know, considering taking a feed, sending a feed out, what Directly Apply is doing is definitely unusual and worth looking into. Maybe can you talk about how you see the difference between like an aggregator like yours that's very much into matching, you know, getting that candidate to your site, matching them up against the jobs, versus a more typical aggregator where it's like send your jobs out to maybe dozens of job boards and you get the clicks and you really have no control over what candidates see, quote unquote, your jobs and respond to those?
Yeah, so the majority of the arbitrage aggregators don't even stop the user in between. They're merely a redirect mechanism. You know, you end up in some job alert or on some site over here, you go through loads of redirects and you go through and there's a whole bunch of people making, you know, very small amounts of money as you go through. And I guess when you're in that business, what you're trying to achieve on a day-to-day basis and the product that you're building, the outcomes are quite different to if you're like us, where we don't do that. And we're ever only going to get paid if we successfully match someone to a job. So, you know, fundamentally, while the business models, I guess, are similar, the actual products are entirely different. I mean, there's some of these huge aggregators out there, and their entire business is how do we make sure, you know, we're guaranteed to be buying at 19 cents and selling for 22 or whatever it might be. You know, we don't even think about that at all. You know, our focus is on, you know, once we've got this user, we know they're a user looking for a job because that's why they came for a job site, to a job site. So if they leave without finding a job, then we've done something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our focus is entirely on, you know, how can we help them find a job, you know, and that's the big difference there.
And how are you?
I don't know about you, but I don't know very many people that are hopeful about the world of work. And I'd like to change that. My name's Marcus Mossberger, and I started the Hope at Work podcast, where you'll find two things. Number one, really interesting guests. And number two, innovative ideas about the future of work. Check it out.
Developing your traffic. How are you getting people to come to Directly Apply? It's not a bad URL, but it is in jobs.com or Career Builder. Not that that's a good URL these days. But it's, you know, it's how do you get them to come to Directly Apply and to apply?
Yeah, so the vast majority is through search engine marketing. So whether that's Google ads or social ads, that type of thing. We also do some co-reg stuff with other job boards where users are able to opt in on other sites to, you know, receive matches from Directly Apply. So we do that. Lots of organic. And what we've also found is that, you know, job seekers that came and used our service 2 years ago are coming back, you know, and use us again for subsequent job searches when they're ready for a new change. So, you know, we're sort of hitting that sort of age of the business now, coming up 6 years, where we're beginning to see a lot of these repeat job seekers as well.
So you mentioned that you been in business for 6 years, and that you've got a fairly small team. I think you said earlier, maybe just when we were in the green room before going live, that I think you said there are five of you.
6 in total. Yeah.
6 in total. So you plus 5.
Yes.
There, I did the math. Tell us a little bit about sort of the scale of the business. Maybe like, traffic, investment. Are you profitable? Just kind of give us an idea, like, how big are you?
Yeah. So we started 6 years ago. We took angel investment from a small family here in the UK. That investment is very small, sub $500,000, and we've basically run the business profitably since then. In terms of scale, it's several $1 million a year in revenue. Good profits on that as well. And yeah, we like keeping the team small, mainly because it allows us to remain very product focused. We don't need a team of 30 people or 40 people to build what we do. We just need a small team of really good people that understand what we're trying to do for job seekers, and that's entirely our focus. So we don't feel the need to take in large sums of investment from VCs or that type of thing. Will and I, my co-founder, we control the company. We can make decisions day to day. Things change all the time in business, so we've got the complete flexibility to do what we like.
Cool. And how do you expect to grow it during the next couple of years, or do you? I mean, sounds like we all think growth is essential and got to have growth, but sometimes where we are is not bad. How do you intend to grow it, and if so, how?
Yeah, we truly believe that the product will grow the business. So whenever we've made product improvements, we've received more traffic, more matches, more conversions. Things go really well, and so our focus is purely on driving that. We believe that if we make the best product we possibly can, then clients like to use it, and also job seekers.
Cool. Well, I think we have time for just like one more really quick question. You and your team are in London. Businesses in the US do you think in a year or maybe 2 or 3, you'll expand into Canada, the UK, other countries?
We've done a tiny bit in Canada before. It's an interesting market because there's a lot of job seekers, just not a lot of jobs. And so it's definitely an interesting one. I don't see us coming to the UK anytime soon. I think there's still a lot to do in the US. So I think that's where our focus is going to be from now on.
Cool. Well, Dylan, this has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Peter,
yeah, great to see you. We've had a really good partnership with you and your team. Very, very responsive, very collaborative. So if other people are looking for good partners, you guys should be at the top of their list.
I appreciate it. Thanks for that, Stephen.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it. And see you in 2 weeks, Stephen, unless we have a breaking news episode like we did earlier this week. I don't know if you saw it, Dylan, but Jeff Dickey Chasins, the job board doctor, sold out to Julie and Chad Sowash, as in Chad and Cheese, and then the smart one, Julie, because she didn't get involved with Chad and Cheese, just with Chad. On that note, Mr. Rothberg, Mr. Buckley, thanks. Have a good day.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.